This video is the next video on functions, and in particular this is looking at section 7 of the notes, which is all about graphing cubic functions. So in functions with numbers to the power of 3 or graph, they form smooth curves with 2 turning points. These functions are called cubic functions. So I've got a few examples: f of x, g of x, L of x, h of x, and g of x, and they're all what we would call cubic functions. And if you look at them, you can see that they all have x cubed in it somewhere. Some of them have much more, so they have like an x squared, they'd have an x, and they have a number as well. But as long as it has an x cubed in it, it's a cubic function. So functions with numbers to the power of 3 in them represent cubic functions. How do we know if a cubic function looks like, or what way it's going to look like? Well, if x cubed is positive, it's going to look like the first graph you can see here. So it's going to start uphill and then it's going to continue uphill. Whereas if x cubed is negative, it's going to start downhill and then at the very end it will continue downhill. So there's the two different types of equations that we'll have. So what I'm going to do now is, in this video, we're going to go through one example where it's done for you, and then the second example I'm going to go through it with you. So the first example here, it says let f be the function f of x goes towards x cubed minus 3x squared minus x plus 3, and it asks you to draw the graph of f between x is minus 2 and 4. Now, the first thing you have to do with this is the same as the quadratic functions, is first of all make your table. Firstly, you'll have your x column on the left hand side. Beside that, you'll have your function column, which you fill in the function. And then finally, on the right hand side, you're going to have your y column. And that column is going to be the answer that you have at the end. If you want, you can finish by putting in the points. We'd have minus 2, minus 15. We'd also have minus 1, 0, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, minus 3, 3, 0, and finally 4, 15. So then you just go along to the graph and you go to each of those points. So first of all, minus 2, and it's minus 15, which is down here. Then you plot minus 1, 0. You're going to plot 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, minus 3, 3, 0, and 4, 15. The final thing you need to do then is you just need to draw the curve with your pencil freehand. So with no ruler, you do that all freehand, and that'll be the answer that you have for this question. All it wanted you to do was draw the graph between minus 2 and 4, and you've done exactly that in this question here. The next question then says, let g be the function g of x goes towards 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x plus 4, and it wants you to draw the function between x, where x is between minus 3 and 2. So the first thing you do, exactly like I've done here, is you draw your table and you have the x on the left. You're going to have your function then in the middle, and then on the right hand side you're going to have your y. So what you need to do is you need to put it into your calculator. When you put minus 3 into the function into your calculator, you're going to get an answer of minus 8. When you put 2, you're going to get an answer of 12. Minus 1, you'll get an answer of 12. 0, you'll get an answer of 4. 1, you'll get an answer of 0. And 2, you'll get an answer of 12. Finally then, if you want, if you're not as confident, you can write out the points. So you'll get minus 3, minus 8, minus 2, 12, minus 1, 12, 0, 4, 1, 0, and finally 2, 12. After this, what you need to do is you need to plot them. So we draw a graph exactly like you have here, labeling your x-axis and your y-axis. Of course, your graph will be much nicer and neater because you'll be drawing it in your maths copy, and mine is drawn freehand here. So the first point we have on the graph is minus 3 minus 8, which is approximately here. Then we have minus 2, 12, so that's approximately here. Next we have minus 1, 12, which is approximately here. We have 0, 4, which is approximately there. We have 1, 0. We have 2, 12. Then the final thing you have to do is just join the dots. Now yours will be much neater than the one I'm about to do, but that's because yours is going to be on graph paper, and as well you'll be drawing it with your hand and not on a whiteboard. And that's the end of it there. So what you can do as well, if you would like, is you can just label this g of x, and we know which one it is, and that's exactly how you would draw a cubic function. Drawing all other cubic functions is the exact same. So that's the end of this video. If there's any questions or you don't understand anything, get in contact with me. But the questions you're doing in relation to this should be fine now.